Okay, want to welcome everybody to Artists Around You. I'm Brian Joseph, and we have Chad Urich behind the scenes there running the cameras. And this is Joseph Barnes, and Thacker. We have Barry Barnes, we have Mr. Mark Thacker, we have Mr. Rick Barnes. And so we're going to play you a few tunes and maybe talk to these guys for a little bit. But first, let's have some music. A tune called So Much.
I walked 27 miles with holes in my shoes. If it meant that I could walk with you, you mean that much, so much to me. You mean so much to me. There ain't nothing I would not do for you. Your eyes, they sparkle, your eyes, they shine. My heart just melts when they look into mine. You mean that much, so much to me. You mean so much to me. There ain't nothing I would not do for you. You are the only girl for me. I got to have you next to me. It's the way that it was meant to be, you and me. I kissed your lips so ruby red, left my brain spinning in my head. You mean so much, that much to me. You mean so much to me. There ain't nothing I would not do for you. Girl, you mean the world to me. Don't know what I'd do if you set me free. This is the way that it was meant to be, you and me. I had you next to me. This is the way that it was meant to be, you and me. I walked 27 miles with holes in my shoes. If it meant that I could walk with you, you mean that much, so much to me. You mean so much to me. There ain't nothing I would not do for you. There ain't nothing I would not do. Almost. There ain't nothing I would not do for you. You mean that much to me.
All right, that was good. That was good. All right, well, let's do a tune that Rick wrote. That was a tune by Mr. Mark Thacker, by the way. And this was by Mr. Rick Barnes, written for
United Way
United Way project. It was a worthy project. It has a great video out there. We'll try to throw a link out there for you if you'd like to see the whole video. It has a lot of good musicians in and a lot of good footage. But we're going to do It All Comes Down to You.
It all comes down to you. You are the things that you do. You must be the change that you want in the world. It all comes down to you. It comes down to who you are.
It comes down to what you do.
It comes down to what you share. It all comes down to you.
It all comes down to you. You are the things that you do. You must be the change that you want in the world. It all comes down to what you give.
It comes down to how you live.
So let your light come shining through. It all comes down to you.
It all comes down to you. You are the things that you do. You must be the change that you want in the world. It all comes down to you. You must be the change that you want in the world. It all comes down to you.
Okay. All right, that was a tune written by Mr. Rick Barnes called All Comes Down to You. Did anybody else help you write that, or
No.
Nope, it's all you.
It was actually kind of a quick, funny story.
Yeah.
I was part of the United Way Public Relations Board, and so every year we did a video. And I said, well, this year let's do a music video. And I went, I wish I hadn't said that, because the cost of getting a song to use, even for charity purposes, is phenomenal. So I said, well, never mind, we can't really afford that. And then one of the board members said, well, why don't you write one? And I went, well, damn.
Yeah, it's a double whammy.
So I went home and wrote it.
Yeah. Well, it's a good tune. That's an excellent tune. And I love the video. I didn't see the video until I started talking with you, and you wanted to do the song. And I went back and saw the video. And I thought, it's a great video, and hopefully it did well for the project.
Oh yeah, it raised a lot of money.
Okay. Now, I want to make sure that I get everybody some airtime here, and between songs. But Rick, you've been playing for a long, long time. Made a lot of friends through the musical community. And same for Mr. Thacker there. He's been playing. When was the first year you played the Happy Harvester?
Probably 77.
77?
Yeah.
I remember, I don't think I started going to the Happy Harvester till about the 80s maybe, when I first came to Chillicothe and went down there. And it was a cool place.
It was a great place.
A lot of music went on down there.
Yeah, Barry played down there as well.
Barry played down there too.
Yeah. Did you play much down there?
No, I was living in L.A. and San Francisco at the time. My first gig in Chillicothe was at a coffee house Joe Waters had called His Place in 1967. So yeah, I'm old as dirt.
Yeah, but you got a lot of stories to tell, and we when we decided to do this particular episode, I mean, for each one of these guys, you could almost do a whole episode because there's so much music history, music experience. That again, we could do a show for each one of them, but I'm going to be a little selfish because I play with these guys and I enjoy playing with these guys. We make some good music together, and so I thought, well, let's just do them all at one time. And because one of the things that I like about playing with these guys is we're not necessarily doing covers. We're doing a lot of original material, and they're great songwriters. And sometimes when we are rehearsing, it's like herding cats because Mark will go off and play a tune, but yet we were working on this tune. And then Rick will do the same thing, and then they start playing together, and Barry and I are looking at each other like,
boys.
well, okay,
Cool.
come on, let's get this right here. But it's a lot of stuff.
So much music.
Yeah, so much music. But right now, let's do a tune. Mark, you want to introduce this tune called Washita River?
This is a song that my son Frankie sent me a recording that a friend of his had made. He sent him a little recording, and he said, "Here's a tune that needs a story." And then next thing I know, Frankie sent me a verse and a chorus. He didn't realize they were a verse and a chorus at the time, but that's what it sounded like to me. And I just went ahead and added some to it, and we ended up with a tune called the Washita River Song. So this is Mackenzie Peischer came up with the the music, and Frankie and I threw the verses together.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Let me turn off my phone.
Yeah.
My phone has a nasty habit of interrupting me.
Well, I was going to ask because as you were talking, Mark, my phone started ringing.
I haven't turned mine off.
Did that come through?
Nobody
Did anybody
calls
hear it?
me.
Well, because my hearing aids it was ringing in my hearing aids, and it was really annoying. But it's turned off now. Darn that, Carly. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this is a tune called
The Washita River Song.
Washita River. Now, we're going to give credit to Frankie
Frankie Thacker, Mackenzie Peischer, and me.
And Mark Thacker.
Yeah.
Mark Thacker. Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I step outside of Denver, where I left you my regard. Carried myself back to Oklahoma. Never had much use for praying. I guess every man has his day. So I bathed away my sins in the Washita. If I had only one dream to give, I'd close my eyes and leave it here for you. If I had one wish, I'd settle down somewhere with a sweet old prairie view. Among the ghosts of Cheyenne, we'll put the black kettle on to boil and sit and watch the rolling waters flow. From Roberts up above to where it mingles with the red at Lake Texoma farther down below. If I had only one dream to give, I'd close my eyes and leave it here for you. If I had one wish, I'd settle down somewhere with a sweet old prairie view. If I had only one dream to give, I'd close my eyes and leave it here for you. If I had one wish, I'd settle down somewhere with a sweet old prairie view. Should I come back to Denver, may not be staying long. I just have to see what circumstances bring. 'Cause my heart still has a soft spot for some folks I left behind on a corner down in Manitou Springs. If I had only one dream to give, I'd close my eyes and leave it here for you. If I had one wish, I'd settle down somewhere with a sweet old prairie view. If I had one wish, I'd settle down somewhere with a sweet old prairie view.
Nice tune. Washita River song. Okay.
Fix it in the mix.
Yeah, it's live, and that's what playing with you guys. I know when I did a little research with I think it's called Guitar Door,
Jimmy Fleming.
with Jimmy Fleming, and he talked to you, and one of the things that you mentioned was, as a musician, it's all between gigs. I mean, as far as whether you're up or down, but it's a gig. It's a gig, and a gig to me it's live music. It's not necessarily sitting in a recording area and making sure everything is perfect.
Yeah.
And so that's what I enjoy doing is, I'm not the greatest musician in the world, and I'm making mistakes. And it's like, oh, that was supposed to be C right there.
Yeah.
Or I was supposed to come in earlier, but...
You were going to talk to you about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
think it's got to breathe. It
Yeah.
has to have a human element to it. I love performing live. I think everyone here knows my feelings about recording, but live is where it's at to me. It's here today, it's gone today. You give it all you got and you go home. That to me is what it's all about.
And that's one of the things, as you get into more and more of it, you realize that I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to make a mistake. But part of the mentality of playing, especially live, is that's gone. That's already happened. And a lot of people may not even notice it.
And so you worry less about it.
Yeah.
When I'm recording, I'm constantly aware of what I'm doing is being printed.
Yeah.
Now I know I can fix it, but the thing that I hate more than recording is fixing a recording.
Yeah. Editing.
So live is where it's at for me. Now
Yeah.
a lot of people are just the opposite.
Yeah.
They hate performing live,
And-
but they love the studio. And one's not better than the other.
No.
It just depends on what you love doing.
And mistakes are part of live performance, and
Yeah.
They certainly are
if
part of mine.
they're part of
Yes,
mine,
they're-
the people used to think it was part of the show.
Yeah.
Well, there's an old thing that, if you
Yeah.
make a mistake, do it twice, and they'll think it's jazz.
I used to
Yeah.
have people sit in the audience and hold up napkins with the words written on them.
We were playing a concert once at OUC, and I forgot the words to my own song. And it was obvious I forgot them, and Mark's daughter yells them out from the audience.
Yeah. So
you
it's
know,
yeah,
you just make it work for you.
yeah. It's like, how are you going to dig out of this hole right now? Okay, and make it sound right. And so
You just don't let them see you sweat,
yeah,
whatever you
yeah,
do.
yeah. So Barry, see, I told Barry the first time, one of the first times I ever played with him, we were playing at the dock, and he'd asked me to play, and I was playing mandolin, and Jason Cook and I was playing fiddle, and Barry was playing banjo. He came up there and played, and I was kind of nervous, like, gosh, I'm playing up here, and I was hogging the mic, and we were playing a tune, and Barry's standing there behind me, and he comes out, gives me a smack in the back. He goes, "Give me a crack at it," so he can stand up and start playing the banjo for his part. And I thought, oh yeah, okay, don't hog the mic.
We only had one mic for the banjo and the mandolin.
Yeah, and so that was one of the first times I played. Now you played a lot with a band called Loose Pockets.
Loose Pockets.
What other bands were you in?
Oh, I played with the Cutright Family Band and played years with Tad Free.
Back Porch Miracle.
Back Porch Miracle. Blue Hound is a bluegrass band I was first in. My first band was called Totally Lost, because we were. But that was clear back in 1974, 75.
Was that what was the first time you started actually playing out?
1976, after we practiced for 6 months, when we played at the Saddle Bar, was our debut.
Where was that? Where was the Saddle Bar at?
That was down on Eastern Avenue.
Eastern Avenue. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I know when we go to rehearse at Barry's too, down in his basement. So Barry's guitarist. He's been a guitarist in the past. He's been a banjo player. He plays that is a uke bass. Tell us a little bit about the bass.
This is a little rubber stringed instrument that's the size of a ukulele. It's designed to sound like an upright acoustic bass, like the double bass or doghouse, as some people call them. So it's no frets, but it's tuned just like a regular bass, E, A, D, G. and it's easy to play for me because I have some neuropathy issue with my hands that doesn't allow me to play my banjo and mandolin as much. But that's it's an old. They've been making them for 20 or 25ve years or so, and but it's great to play. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, it
And they
sounds good. Yeah, and
I mentioned he also plays drums, and now he's working on pedal
Pedal
steel.
steel.
yeah. I was going to mention we're down there, and he's got. You have 2 pedal steels
Pedal
downstairs,
steel,
and then you have some lap steels.
Yes, I have
I
some.
was thinking, man, he's really trying to work his way up. You know,
Well,
and
I
all
use
these-
steel. I use those bars, you know, and finger picks, so I don't have to fret on a fretboard. So
Now, Mark, when did you start playing with the Astonishers?
1979.
In '79. Who asked? How'd you get into that?
Dale Perry was the banjo player for the band at the time, and he was moving to Florida. So he and Gordon Hickson, members of the band, came down to the Harvester and said, "Hey, we want to talk to you." And I'm a guitar player. They wanted me to play banjo, and I had an old tenor banjo that was my one of my uncles, or my dad's cousins, I guess, and I strung it up and got a Mel Bay book out and learned some chords, and
then
2 weeks later I was it.
yeah, and just trying to hold on and stay with the flow.
It took me a long time to get my wrist loosened up to play that double time.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things when I play with you, your techniques, you have a lot of tenor with your guitar, and then
Yeah.
especially when we're trying to play Celtic stuff. If you have a busy week and we'll play Celtic music one night, and maybe then you have the Astonishers the next night, and then maybe another gig. By the third night, he has no skin on his fingers.
And my fingernail, I went easy on it last night at the gig, so I'm just pretty much straight across, but I didn't.
So, but that's the one thing I noticed. You know, you also got the uke, but you're very much a fingerstyle player now too. When you're playing your own songs and stuff, a lot of it is fingerstyle, as well as with you, Rick. I know when I was reading the interview with Jimmy, and I did not realize this about you. You are a left-hander playing right-handed.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, and that's a challenge in itself. Yeah. And and so and the thing that's I'm not sure if that affects the way you play or not, because also in the interview it talked about you're more comfortable doing chords and chordal arrangements.
It depends on the song, but actually I'm more comfortable finger picking. But if we're playing something, if we're playing rock and roll, like I was in a show band for a while, and you don't do much finger picking in a show band, so yeah, it was all chords. And if I ever play with some jazz musicians, I'm not a jazz musician, but I love trying to play it. You don't do much finger picking. I don't do any lead work. Mark and I were talking about strumming. When we learned, you play all 6 strings. And when you're playing in rock and roll, you don't use all 6 strings usually. I mean, even the rhythm player is just going to grab like 3 notes.
The bottom 3.
Yeah. Or the middle 3,
Power
whatever.
chords, yeah.
Power chords. And
never-
that was really hard for me to get used to.
I never learned to leave those other strings alone that I didn't need.
I had to, or they'd have thrown me out of my own band. So.
But that I noticed, like a lot of your songs when you're writing now, it's very fingerstyle based, a lot of it, and I know you were in a lot of other bands, but you kind of gravitated toward that style of the. Well, I don't want to say folk music, but it's more of the finger.
Well, it's all
style.
folk music. Horses don't
Yeah.
play music, but it's more folk based. Yeah, I mean, you kind of had to. I was never a big rock and roller, but I got tired of making 50, 60, 75 bucks a night, and I decided I wanted to make some money, so I put a band together called Jump Street, and we started doing, dance music and stuff, and we got a gig at a Playboy Club, and after that we got an agent, and then the music was pretty much dictated to us what we played, and I was making more money than I've ever made as a musician. So I really enjoyed that part, but the reason I quit was because I missed playing what you just called folk music, Americana, whatever you want to call it, songs about things in my life that someone else wrote or that I wrote. Pretty much Mark and I are on the same page there, as well as Mike Boyle, and there's just a lot of good songwriters in this town. Ken Willis.
And that's and part of that is why I like playing with this group, as far as with Ken and all those guys, and because it's more of a, I think it's more of a roots-based music. Is what I would refer to as more of a roots-based, where it's more about sitting on your porch or sitting somewhere and playing with other people.
Right, and every songwriter approaches it different. Like Ken Willis can take a kayak down a creek and write a beautiful song. Mark can write a song about anything. I got to pull it up from deep inside. I'm more of an emotional songwriter, psychological sort of stuff. So, and every songwriter is different. So that's what I love about it. None of us are trying to dazzle the world with a song. We're just trying to tell the world what we feel, what we think, what we love.
Now I know you've taught or you know a lot about theory, music theory.
Well, I wouldn't say a lot.
Well, you know more than I do. But where'd you learn? Where'd you learn? I mean, was it out of the Mel Bay book, or where did you learn to play?
Mel Bay should be in the Music Hall of Fame.
He should. All of them.
I was living in Atlanta, and I was really frustrated with my own guitar playing because I found myself being very repetitive, doing what I already knew how to do. And I bought a Steely Dan guitar book, and I went, wow, this stuff is really different. And I could memorize the chords, but once you get into those kind of chords, there's really no memorizing them. You kind of have to kind of know what you're doing. So I went to Emory University and signed up for some jazz classes and a music theory class and an advanced music theory class. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And for the first time in my life, I understood what I was doing.
He actually sat in the classroom and did it. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got that figured out now. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Huh. Well, how did you learn?
My sister bought a guitar. And we both were playing around with it, and Dad found somebody to give us lessons, a fellow named Leslie Allen. And we walked from our house to his house on Hickory Street, and we sat down and learned 3 chords, A, D, and E. And he taught us to play just a closer walk with E. Just pick. And I went back about 4 or 5 weeks later and showed him that I had taught myself how to play Wildwood Flower and a couple other songs that I was working on at the time. And he said, "That's good.
Now you're on your own." Yeah. I know. Well, when I teach some mandolin, I don't know a lot of the theory, so my goal is to just teach you enough so that you can go out on your own. Yeah. Because there's so much stuff out there to pick up from the internet and other players that you learn from. So I'm just trying to get you over the hump so that you're not afraid. So how did you learn, Barry?
Pretty much by listening to Rick play when I was about 13, and he was about, I was probably 12. He was probably 17 or 18. And he was playing the coffee house. I'd ride my bicycle down to watch him play. And I just fell in love with the live music. I'd never seen it before. So he taught me some chords and things. And after that, the other instruments that I've learned was all self-taught. But Rick did teach me some chords on guitar and stuff. And he finger-picked a lot of stuff back then. And that was my inspiration, was my big brother.
Well, I told him, okay, Barry, but this thing will break your heart every damn day.
Well, I know one of the shows we did called Music from the Living Room at OUC, you and Barry came out. I'm so sad that show was not recorded. There's a great picture of you two sitting on the couch playing a song, and you guys I'm not sure, it was a song
I
called
wrote
Brothers.
called We Will Always Be Brothers.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it was a great tune, and it was really that fit the whole show as far as just sitting around playing music, and so I thought that was great. Now, as far as learning to play, I mean, when you were messing around with all the jazz chords, I'm going to kind of get into this song that we're going to play next, and I'm going to let you introduce it and explain how you came about doing the song in this style.
Well, I like to clear up some myths. I don't think you need to know theory. It certainly doesn't hurt to know theory. And speaking just purely individually, songwriting changed. Everything changed for me when I started understanding what I was doing and the value of substitute chords and arrangements and time signatures. I played trumpet when I was very young. I started in the 6th grade and played it up through my junior year. So I could already read music, but I still didn't know what the hell I was doing. I mean, they don't really teach you music theory. They just teach you the scales on the trumpet, and you read the music and you play. So I had that kind of going for me already. So what Mark and I both like to do is, if I'm going to do somebody else's song, I study the song until I can really find it in me as if I wrote it, and then play it. And where theory helped me a lot was how to take a song and make it my own. Now, there's some people can do that without knowing anything about theory, but for me personally, it was it's like sunshine. Everything changed once I learned the theory. And there are people that can take me to school on it, but I still study theory. I love theory, so I do a lot of studying on my own. My house is filled with envelopes with scales and things on it. So everyone's different. When I teach, I don't pressure them to learn theory, but I want them to understand when they're playing an E chord exactly what notes those are. And I want them to fall in love with music. And not that you need to know theory to do that, but there's something about a friend of mine, Craig Greff, who recently passed away, had a really unique way of looking at things. He said most people listen to music sensually, just how it makes them feel. Then some people listen to music on a more emotional, more of a level of, they listen to the lyrics, they listen to everything, and the songs really mean something to them. It's just not background music. And then musicians listen to music a little different. We hear chord changes when we're, at least I do. I hear clever turns of phrases, clever turns of a chord, clever arrangements of a chord. And that's listening on the musical scale, listening as a musician. And theory really helps give you insights into that. And then I think there's a fourth, which is being a recording engineer. You're listening as an engineer. You're not just listening to the music, you're listening for what's not supposed to be there. You're listening for how the two guitars are blending. You're listening further on down when you mix it. Is it going to cut through the mix? What do I need to change? So that's another whole level of musician. I think studio engineers and live engineers are musicians. I've gone on too much here, but I used to teach this, so just tell me to shut up. But
Okay, so what we got here is an arrangement by Mr. Rick Barnes. The first time I heard it, it wowed me. I thought, that is fantastic. It took me a while to figure out what the song was for a moment. It's like,
that's what I wanted.
and it's like, oh, wait, I've heard this song before. So I'm going to have Rick start this off. And there's so much more to talk. I mean, like I say, there's so much with these guys and so much experience. I mean, your experiences as an audio engineer and being the sound man carrying the dome. One of his best stories I liked was he was on an NFL field, and so he's one of the guys holding those cones so that you hear everything. and
That's
he's
what
and he's standing there, and it's on the kickoff, and he's supposed to run down as these guys run down, and he realizes, my gosh, these guys are so fast.
And the producer's yelling in my ear, faster, faster. And I'm going, this guy's running a whatever it is, 40-yard dash. I got 30 pounds of audio gear.
Yeah, and so I thought that was a great story. But the fact that you've not only are you a musician, but you know the audio aspects of it. Is another story in itself. Mark and his Astonisher story is traveling around, going down to Portsmouth the River, pushing a, I think piano or something like that.
Marietta,
And then with Barry, how many instruments can you play? I don't know. It's like
Try to play them all.
yeah, trying to play them all. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Artists Around You, and hope you enjoyed the music, which is what we really like to do. It's okay to talk about ourselves a little bit, but we'd rather just play some music. And so
Good segue.
yeah, and so this is a tune that's arranged by Mr. Rick Barnes.
Don't you know that I'm aware of where you go each time you leave my door? I watch you walking down the street, knowing who you're gonna meet. This time before you run to him, leaving me alone again. Haven't I been good to you? Haven't I been sweet to you? Won't you stop? Think it over before you break my heart. Stop in the name of love before you tear us apart. I've known of your secluded nights, even met him maybe once or twice. Is his sweet expression worth more than my love and affection? And this time before you leave my arms, rush off to his charms. Haven't I been good to you? Haven't I been sweet to you? Won't you stop? Think it over before you break my heart. Stop in the name of love before you tear us apart. Tried so hard to be patient, hoping you'd stop this infatuation. But each time that you are together, I'm so afraid of losing you forever. Won't you stop? Think it over before you break my heart. Stop in the name of love before you tear us apart. Sound
What do you
okay?
think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had a little bit of kick drum going in there.
Was I kicking the floor again?
I was watching Spike.
I've been told a million times not to do that, but that's just the way I play. I'm sorry.
But
I
see, that was
apologize.
that was during the build up.
should
of
have
the
told
song.
you to-
The song was building up there. So, yeah.
I should bring a pillow with me everywhere I go.
So, anything else, guys? I mean, I think that
I'd like to hear another one if you guys can put one out.
Oh, we can put a million of them out.
Yeah.
Get your checkbook out.
how much time we got?
You got 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Let's do Desolation
That's four
Row.
songs. Yeah. Okay.
And we're just gonna run out of memory card, we are gonna run out of battery too.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Gosh, what?
Call one up.
Huh? Blue, stay away from you. In E.
Blues stay away from B.
E. E.
In the blues chord.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to sing one for these guys. If you follow us on Facebook, if you're friends with any of us, kind of follow us around. We play at Old Capitol Brewing. We'll play at Steiner's. Other places, we will be playing at a new place called Roadhouse 56. That'll be coming up later on.
Prohibition Bar.
Prohibition Bar.
Steiner's.
At Naz.
Naz.
Yes, and so follow us. We'll
Old
put
Capitol.
all the information out there. If you like live music, come out and hear us and have a good time. And I want to play a song here, an old blues tune that we like to do whenever we're around because they do make me sing every now and then. So I'd rather play the mandolin, but if I'm going to play a tune and sing, this is going to be one I'm going to play. This is Blues, Stay Away From Me. Stay away from me. Blues, why don't you let me be? I don't know why you keep on haunting me. Love was never meant for me. True love was never meant for me. It seems somehow we never can agree. Little guitar here.
you let me be? I don't know why you keep on haunting me. No, I don't know why you keep on haunting me.
Thanks, everybody. Follow us on Facebook, Artists Around You.
And YouTube.
And
We
on
have a YouTube
YouTube.
page, yes.
I don't know all these
have
terms.
to add
Like us,
another
follow
bonus
us.
to it.
I don't know what you do. Facebook,
me.
YouTube. Yeah.
That's
But
it.
you've got Mark Thacker Music out there too.
Yeah.
There's go stop in a bookstore. Rick has some novels out there. It just so talented guys. And thanks for listening. And thanks, Chad, for filming us.
Oh, thanks.
And
Thank you, Chad.
see you later.
A little small, y'all.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that works out. I'm not sure I was singing for my best, but
No, I want to stop. I just drew a blank.